All right, y'all, we back again. Back once again. Back in the house for another live stream. I'm on the go this time, but I said, look, let me come through and we'll talk. We got to speak on this topic here. I haven't been touching on this topic too much just because there was so much going on last week. As far as the big fights. We had so much going on with the big fights, so I just was kind of letting this news kind of pass by, and I said I'll come back and talk about it this week. Marcus Bell, what's going on? Yeah, I said I would come back and talk about this. I said, I'm focused on what's really happening. I'm focused on the real title fights that are happening. So yeah, you got Joanna over here. She's trying to talk her name up, which is what we're going to talk about today. Man, she was tweeting, boy. She was tweeting during that fight. She was tweeting during the UFC 261 card. So I said, oh man, we got to talk. We got to get on here and talk about it. Yes, sir. So we'll get started here in a few minutes. Still coming down from the UFC 261 high. A little hungover. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. So yeah, man. We're gonna get into this talk today. Yeah, we're gonna start here in a few minutes. Y'all know the topic. For the ones that just come in, y'all see the topic. Y'all see the thumbnail. That's what we're gonna talk about. And also, I want to bring up the interview. I got to pull up this interview here where Joanna was, when she went in again and basically said why she deserves the title shot after such a long layoff. So yeah, let me pull that up and I'll read it to y'all. So let's go ahead and get situated here in about a couple minutes. We get started at the 4-minute mark. As soon as I pull this thing up and I can read it. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. Like, some people think they're entitled, after they lay down a little bit of groundwork, they just want to say it's always my way. I don't work that way, man. It really don't work that way. You still have to put in some work. Like, everything's got an expiration date on it, in my opinion. You know, I think whenever somebody cements their legacy after so many years, that don't expire. That's a given. But whenever you're talking about like fighters that are still having to do some certain things to prove themselves, and they still want to hang around in the game when there's a lot of tough sharks out there, you got an expiration right there. You still got something to prove, especially when your track record isn't looking good in the last 5 or 6 fights. You know. So let's talk about it, man. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, man. I just wanted to do this live stream on the go and just talk about Joanna once again. She's trying to throw her name in that title shot mix. I mean, she feels like she's got enough leverage, and she's got enough backing to just kind of come out of nowhere and try to talk up another title shot for her. Especially when a big fight's going on, she'll try to be that one to kind of step in the groove and say, hey, I want next. I want the winner. Like, who do I fight next? You know what I mean? So she has enough backing where she thinks like a lot of the casual fans and a lot of her fans are going to back that. Like, I'm not like the biggest Joanna fan. I'm a fan of her hard work and her style, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, you're ready for a title shot. But yeah, real quick, let me pull this article up, man. What did she say here? 1 second. All right. So Joanna had this to say. She said, I called Mick Maynard. Right? I called Mick Maynard a few days ago. I just told him, you know what? The baddest bee is back on the planet. The baddest bee on the planet is back. So book the flight, watch this fight, and tell everybody that I'm next. So she's referring to, the UFC 261. She's basically saying that after this fight, tell everybody she's ready. She said, I know there are so many people who are like, you lost, you have to prove it again. I proved it in my last fight, putting on a hell of a show. Given the closest fight ever, that's the thing. Fight of the year, no gender, no weights. It's the ticket for the next title fight. That's the thing. I just don't want to fight for nothing anymore. So, all right, with what she said right there, I mean, going back to what she said, okay, I put on a hell of a show. It takes two to tango, Zhang Weili fought her in a tough fight. Some people felt like it could have gone either way, but Zhang Weili, she came out the winner. She retained her title, and they got fight of the year for that. Hands down, fight of the year out of everybody, right? So I can't argue that. Yeah, I say it's fight of the year also too, but to me, fight of the year does not really build a fighter's legacy, like a single fighter's legacy. Fight of the year, that could be anybody on any level. It just depends on what type of energy they're carrying that night, what type of heart they have, what type of guts they got to really put on an action-packed fight. Because fight of the year really depends on the fans. It really depends on the fans too. They kind of bring that energy out of a fighter. And whenever the two fighters want to go at it and just put it all on the line, we all kind of judge it that way. Of course, yeah, the two fighters have to, go all out as well. So fight of the, when you think of fight of the year, you're thinking more of an action-packed fight. You're not just thinking of, okay, this makes me pound for pound best. To be pound for pound best or even earn a title shot, you have to show it skill-wise. You got to be in there showcasing your skill, like Valentino do, like Amanda Nunes does. She's not in there for fight of the year. She wants to be fighter of the year, which is a big difference. Fighter of the year is a fighter that comes in there, showcases the talent, defends the title, and they walk away unscathed for the most part. So Joanna's argument to say, oh, we were awarded fight of the year, which they did get little plaques for. That's not really something you can stand on to say I earned a title shot, because again, that's not really earning you a title shot based off of skill. You know what I mean? That's more so based off of your heart and action. And when she says, trying to say it's the closest fight ever, that's still not a lot to stand on. You still lost. Like, you still didn't do enough to win. You still didn't do enough to take the title from the champion at the time. So you disappear for a year. Okay. What type of inactivity, what type of condition is your body in after being off that long? You know what I mean? We have to kind of think about all that. Let's see. Joanna can't jump in front of you can't jump in front of the line. Nope. Can't jump in front of the line like that, man. Like, no. Which I'll talk about here in a minute. What else? What else in this thing? Let's see. Let's go back and analyze part of this article here. Yeah, okay. So she says she doesn't want to fight for nothing anymore. I mean, any fight leading up to a title shot's not for nothing, like a title eliminator is not for nothing. You still have to kind of show and prove yourself like every other champion or ex-champion, former champion that's been out for like a year or two. They all have to come back and just kind of prove something to themselves and, to the crowd. You just can't say, oh, like any other fight means nothing. Like, no, like if you're still in the top 3 or top 5 and you take on a top 5 opponent, you're taking on tough competition and you're knocking that person out of the picture, which still stands for something. Like a title eliminator leads to a title shot. Nobody can just come in after a year or two off and just say, oh, I deserve a title shot, standing off of nothing. You know, that's not fair to the fighters in front of you. Especially, again, like, you got all these other fighters who've been working throughout the past year during the pandemic, you know, while she was recovering from her head back in 2020. You know, all these other fighters out here like Yan Xiaonan, Rose, Carla Esparza, they all continue to work. You know, they all continue to work during the pandemic and continue to build their, you know, build their legacy and build their skills up to get higher in the rankings. Hell, even Mackenzie Dern, you know, a lot of people might not think she deserves to be top 5 right now, but she's been working. You know, of course they haven't had, of course she hasn't had the title yet, so yeah, she has to be in a different mind frame. But when you talk about Carla Esparza, Rose Namajunas, ex-champions, these ex-champions are still working. And even then, you know, Rose went back and fought Jessica Andrade in a non-title fight. It was a rematch, but she still wanted that non-title fight, right? Because she had to get that get back. She didn't feel comfortable just going straight into a title shot until she got that get back and made sure she was ready for a title shot. So Joanna, like, nobody's asking her to start from the bottom. Like, she doesn't have to start at number 10 and work her way up or fight like 4 or 5 contenders. Like, I just want to see her at least fight one. Because yeah, I do feel like she's developed herself throughout the years and built up a legacy for herself. But all I'm asking is at least fight one top contender. If you still hold like the number 3 or number 4 spot, yeah, all you need to fight is one contender to wait in line for the title shot. But you're not going to jump ahead of the other title holders. You know, the other contender, excuse me. Like, let's look ahead. In May, right? We got Carla Esparza versus Yan Xiaonan, which is supposedly be for a title eliminator, right? So you're not allowed to jump ahead of those fighters. You lost your last title shot. You've been out for a year. How does that sound to let this fighter jump ahead of the winner of Esparza, Xiaonan? You know, those two fighters have been fighting. Yan Xiaonan coming off her wins against Carolina, you know, her one-sided decision over Claudia Gadelha, just about, well, one-sided over Carolina, but yeah, she beat up Claudia Gadelha as well. And then you got Carla Esparza, who's on a 4-fight winning streak. So why would we let her jump ahead of Carla Esparza right now? Especially if, say, Carla Esparza beats Yan, then she'll be on a 5-fight winning streak. 5-fight winning streak. Come on, that deserves a title shot before Joanna. I don't care what Joanna says as far as her star power or whatever. Like, star power and you know, being title contender ready are two different things. You know, I'll be like, yo, you got to take a back seat for a while and let the fighter who earned it get their title shot, because that's what the UFC is building their name off of right now, right? The best fighting the best. Like, there's a lot of people arguing with me about why the Valentina versus Weili fight makes sense, but that's not really the best fighting the best. That's just a star power fight, and it doesn't make sense. You could ruin a fighter like that. So if you're trying to push the best fighting the best, then you would just put whoever the winner is of Carla versus Yan in the octagon against Rose Namajunas next. So Joanna, there's really no argument. There's really no argument for her to get a title shot. You know, everything she says is based off the past. You know, she can't say, "Oh, I'm on a 4-fight winning streak. I'm on a 3-fight winning streak. Give me the title shot." You know, you can't stand on any of that. You're still standing on the past. You know, even Conor McGregor has been fighting some non-title fights. Going to fight another one against Dustin Poirier, right? Robert Whittaker, perfect example. 4-fight winning streak since getting knocked out by Israel Adesanya back in 2019, right? And since then, he's racked up 4 nice wins and looking better than before. And he's making it look like there are no other contenders except me. So you got to run it back with me, Izzy. You know, that's what Joanna should have been doing in the meantime. Like, when she recovered, you know, when she recovered, she should have said, okay, at the end of the year, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna fight Marina Rodriguez. I'm gonna fight I'll go ahead and fight Jan. I'll fight whoever is in that top 5. You know, this is Colton. Colton said Joanna got so many title opportunities since he lost. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute too. Yeah, got to talk about that. I'm gonna pull. I got her record memorized right now by heart. So yeah, I'm gonna go back on her record too right now. We're gonna talk about that. So yeah, hold on. Especially where Joanna lost twice. Yeah, right. Definitely, yeah. So that's the next thing I want to talk about. So while somebody like Robert Whitaker is going on a 4-fight winning streak after losing, you know, just lost his title, right? Just lost one time. He was humble enough to say, "All right, I got to go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna not keep. I ain't gonna keep petitioning for a title shot, knowing I didn't earn it." But Joanna, who's got title shot after title shot, still thinks she deserves a title shot. Because look, let's look at her record. All right, last 6 fights, what, 2-4, right? The 4 losses were all title shots. The 4 losses were all title shots. 2 wins she had were, you know, the stay busy fights in between, which, okay, yeah, you might need another contender or 2 to get you ready. You know what I mean? So let me just do this off of memory. The 4 losses and title shots, what were they? Valentina Shevchenko, Rose Namajunas, Wei Lee, and who was the other one? Who was the other one, y'all? She lost 4, right? I gotta pull the record up here for a second. All right, she's 2-4. Although I got some time here. Pull this thing up. All right. Yeah, that's what I meant. 2-4. 2 times the Rose. Valentina. So yeah, you lost all 4 title opportunities. So why do you feel like now you're ready for another title shot? And you know, as you get older, you know, things start to slow down. You know, you start to lose your speed, you start to lose your hunger. And I think right now Joanna's kind of lost the hunger a little bit because she doesn't want to start from the bottom anymore. You know, like she don't even want to start from the mid ground. You know, she doesn't even want to start from like the mid ground and maybe take at least one to 2 fights and go on a 2-fight winning streak, you know? Like she's not even at that level. So she really just wants to bank. She really just wants to bank and get a title shot and, you know, possibly be done. She wants to tie with Rose and be that 2-time strawweight champion. That's the kind of vibe she's kind of giving. That's why she wants to go straight for a title shot, because she said it in an interview also, like, you know, her body's getting beat up now. You know, she can't go through what she used to before. You know, she says she wants to have kids someday. So with all that, I can understand why she wouldn't want to fight like 4 or 5 times a year, or 3 or 4 or 5 times a year anymore, but at least fight twice. At least take a title contender, then the title shot. That's all I'm asking. You know, don't try to jump ahead, like, because I don't want to see this fight. I don't want to see her fight Rose in a third fight for the title. I don't want to see that right now, unless she was to earn it. Unless she knocked no other people out the gate, said, look, get out the way. I'm on a 2-fight winning streak again. Rose, come and get this. That's fine. Angelo Cass said Joanna versus Dern. I don't know about that fight. I don't think Dern is ready for that fight yet. Yeah, I don't think Dern is ready for. No, I don't think Dern is ready for that fight yet. No. I got a video talking about Mackenzie Dern coming out, like on who I think she should fight. I don't think she's really ready for the top 4 yet. Like, there's some other fights she can take that make sense for Mackenzie. If Esparza wins her next fight, she should get the title shot. Yeah, definitely. Colton said Valentina. What you talking about? Yeah. Joanna fought Valentina for that inaugural flyweight title. What's next for Andrade? She's in a weird situation. I think that she could stay at 125. She'd be fine there. 125 would be fine for her. I think she was just in there with the best fighter in the world, one of the best fighters in the world. So there's no need to feel discouraged. But I think 115 is also a good option for her. I think it's also a good option for her right now because a rubber match with Rose Namajunas is a lot. It's more of a winnable fight for Jessica Andrade. Let's be honest. Yeah, let me scratch that. 125. She's not going to beat Valentina. She's not going to win that title. So if she wants to be a champion again, she might have to go back to 115. Let's be logical here. Let me kick this logic here. Go back to 115. Yeah, for real, because she could continue to beat these other girls at 125, but nobody really wants to see a rematch with Valentina versus Andrade, right? Pine K said Jan should be next in line for the title shot when she wins. Yeah, if she wins, yeah. If she wins. Strawweight is the best women's division. Yeah, it is. It is. It's the best. It's the talent. It's the most talented division, man. I mean, yeah, it's my favorite to watch. Yeah, y'all will have to stop Carla's angle pick technique. Yeah, I'm going to 145 and fight Nunes. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, strawweight division is the best division. Yeah, I think as far as like all around talent and just action. Yeah, but let's see here. Yeah, going back to Joanna, 2-4 in title fights does not spell title shot. 4-fight winning streak for Robert Whitaker does. That's title shot right there. You win your last 4 fights. You show that you really want it. Not just sitting back on the back burner saying, my past accomplishments are gonna do the talking for me. I held the belt for 5 title defenses, so I'm guaranteed. Nah, man, like that stuff has an expiration date on it, man. Like if you're an active fighter and you're not proving yourself time and time again, then yeah, there's an expiration date. It expires the more you lose and the more you stay inactive. Let me put it that way, y'all. Your credibility, it will expire if you stay inactive and you continue to lose. You lost 4 title fights. You're out for a year. So the credibility for #1 contender is not there. That expired, I think, right? That expired. So go back and get 1 fight. Just fight 1 fight. That 1 title eliminator is not a fight for nothing. Like she said, she doesn't want to fight for nothing. But if you take a fighter like Marina Rodriguez, or if you fight, if they made you fight Mackenzie Dern, that's not a fight for nothing. You beat that person in the top 5 or top 6, whatever, and you move on from there. I mean, there's a lot of people would be harsh and say you need to go on a 3-fight or 4-fight win streak. Hell, I just want to see you fight once or twice and make me believe, like all the other hardcore fans, that you are a title shot ready. That's all. Because, yeah, at least Rose Namajunas, she got ready, boy. Rose Namajunas, she got ready for it. She got ready for it. Came back in there, did what she needed to do. and she got the title. She became a 2-time champion before she did. And you know, when we go back and really analyze Joanna's title defenses, you know, some people question them. I mean, there's a couple fights, yeah, I do, like, you know, Jessica Benet fight, but I do give Joanna credit for Andrade and Carolina and Claudia 2 times, you know. So let's see. Podcast said, who do you think would win between Yan and Wei Li? I think Yan is a little bit more committed to her striking. Let's be honest. Like, I think Yan is a little bit, you know, she's a little bit more technical with her striking, which might give Wei Li some trouble. You know, because Yan's got fast hands. You know, she's more of a stand-up fighter, but Wei Li still got pressure and strength. You know, if Wei Li can take Yan's punch, she'll want to take the fight to the ground. You know, she will take the fight to the ground. That's what Claudia tried to do against Yan. But I think if we talk about just straight stand up, it would be pretty competitive because it would be competitive because Yan Xiaonan does have. I think she has better hands and she's more committed to her skills on the feet than Wei Li is. It's not as sloppy. It's not as sloppy. I said that a lot of people disagree with me. They saw what happened against Rose. So I said that was something she needed to tighten up with, and you saw what happened. So it was sloppy. Angelo Cass said Joanna needs to dominate a top contender to get hype and show that she deserves it. That's all I ask, man. That's all we asking. Ravioli said, hold on here. Ravioli said, it's crazy how Val completely dominated Andrade on the ground, but had trouble with Joanna. Joanna had, like, you know, Joanna, that's her thing. Like, you know, she's tall, she's long, and she's so strong, you know. And when she hits the ground, she's like trying to scramble. She doesn't want to be on the ground. That's why her thing is to get up. You know, Jessica don't have that reach. Hang on one second. Okay, y'all. All right, I'm back here. We'll be back here for another 15, 20 minutes. Two Beasts, what's going on? Two Beasts said Joanna should fight Wei Li if she wants another title shot against Rose. Yeah, let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about who she should fight. Yeah, we'll talk about, hold on, let's see. We'll talk about that. If Rose versus Joanna happen and Joanna won, can they make a fourth fight? They could, but I mean, who would really want to see that, right? All right. Lolita, what's going on? Lolita said it's because Joanna's taller and longer. Right. Yeah, yep. That's what I was saying before I had to do something. Yeah, that's what I was saying before I left. Valentina, Valentina had an easy time keeping Jessica Andrade down and in that body lock because she has short arms. You know, her short arms really made it hard for her to, you know, wiggle out and scramble. But Joanna, her main focus is takedown defense. Like, she's not even going to try on the ground. So when Valentina took her down, her first thing was to go for the fence or scramble and use her limbs because she's longer and taller, you know. And let's just admit it, Joanna's strength is probably surpassing Jessica Andrade. It probably surpasses Jessica Andrade, you know. They're probably like the top 3 physically strongest fighter. It probably goes Valentina, Joanna, and Jessica Andrade. They're probably the top 3 strongest fighters in between strawweight and flyweight. Anybody want to argue that, we can, but I mean, that's what I think. Number 1, Valentina. Number 2, Joanna. And number 3 would be Jessica Andrade when it comes to strength. What do you think Durn ceiling is? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, let me think about that. Yeah, Pacquiao, yeah, they fought 4 times. Yeah, Pacquiao and Marquez fought 4 times. Shoot, guys way back in the day used to fight 7 or 8, 9 times. So yeah, it's doable. Carla versus Joanna rematch for the title shot. No. I'm not gonna do that to Carla, man. If Carla goes on a 4-fight winning streak or 5-fight winning streak, she deserves a strap. She deserves a crack at the strap, a rematch with Rose. All right, so I think we all agree that Joanna doesn't deserve a title shot right away. She doesn't deserve a 3rd fight with Rose right away. So, what top fight should she fight? I agree with Angelo. That was one of my first fights. I think she should fight Zhang Weili in a rematch. That fight makes sense. You know, if you're bragging so much about fight of the year, and a great way to earn a title shot would be Zhang Weili, because that way, hey, y'all could bring in them numbers again. You could put on your fight of the year again, and then people could finally say, "Oh wow, maybe she does deserve the title shot." You know, so Zhang Weili, that's a good opponent for Joanna. I still stand by Marina Rodriguez. That's like one of my favorites. I know somebody last night was telling me that Joanna would whoop Marina Rodriguez, but you can't really say. You can't really say because they're both stand-up fighters, you know. Joanna, she'll kind of give respect to a fellow Muay Thai fighter and stay on the outside, you know. Marina Rodriguez, she would be more comfortable in a Joanna fight because why? Why? Because she won't have to worry about being taken to the ground. See, in those fights Marina Rodriguez in her fights with like Cynthia Calvillo, Carla Esparza, Randa Marcos, fights like that, she had to worry about being taken to the ground. So she was never really like committed to her letting her hands go. Amanda Ebos, same thing in that first round. She got flustered. She got flustered and got dominated in the first round. But as soon as she let her hands go, she's an accurate puncher. As soon as Amanda Ebos abandoned the ground game in the second round, she was able to counterpunch and just let her hands go. So imagine Joanna and Marina Rodriguez fight. It's just going to depend on who lets their style go first, like volume punching versus the precision puncher, kind of like Rose versus Joanna again. You know, Marina Rodriguez is a hard puncher, y'all. You know, she might not throw as much workout like Joanna, but she's a hard puncher. Very hard puncher. So Marina Rodriguez, that's a good fight. Marina Rodriguez versus Joanna, that's a good fight. Since everybody is tied up, really, I mean, that's all I got. I mean, I could say Mackenzie Dern, but I think Mackenzie Dern, no, that's not good for her. That's not a good fight for Mackenzie Dern. Joanna versus Dern, no, that's not a good fight. Not at all. That's going to be worse than the That's going to be worse than the Amanda Ebos Dern fight. Let's see, in the top 5, you got Mackenzie, Carla, Jan, Joanna, and where's Rose at? Well, you know that's gonna switch up. Hold on now. What they got? Okay. Mackenzie, Carla, Jan, Joanna, Weili, and then Rose. So Weili and Marina, who's number 6, would really make sense for me. But you know, Carla and Jan are tied up. And Rose might not, you know, she's not going to get that fight yet. She don't deserve that fight. Weili versus Lemos, I don't know about that fight. You know, Lemos ain't even ranked yet. Well, she's number 14. Nah, that's not a good fight for Lemos yet. Lemos is only number 14. Nah, I'm not gonna put her in there with the number 1 contender yet. That's a big jump. Lemos needs to fight Lemos needs to fight Amanda Ebos or Tisha Torres next. That's who Lemos needs to fight. She needs to fight the number 11 or 10 fighter, you know, or Claudia, or the number 8 fighter. That's who Lemos needs to fight. You know, Lemos don't need to jump all the way to number 1. She's only number 14 right now. Can't do that. 2B said, who's available in the top 10? Tisha's available right now. I think Michelle Waterson's trying to get a fight with. Who's she trying to get a fight with right now? I don't know. As of now, Tisha Torres, Michelle, and Claudia, they're free. Marina Rodriguez is free. 6 through 10 is pretty much available, unless Michelle Waterson does have a fight lined up. I don't know. Because Angela Hill and Ebos are about to fight this month coming, so yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for Joanna, really. Joanna's just got to fight either Jan or Marina. No, excuse me. Who'd I say? Let me pull my thing. I say Marina and Whaley. Excuse me. Sorry, Whaley and Marina. That's all I got for Joanna, really. I don't want to see Mackenzie Dern go in there and mess up her momentum right now. You know, she's not ready for that fight. But yeah, y'all, I just wanted to get on here to do this live stream, man, and just break it down, man, because I'm like, you know, there's other fights out there that make sense for Joanna. You know, there's no need to say I'm fighting for nothing. I mean, none of these fights mean nothing. I mean, all these fights mean something. You know, she can't say that none of them mean anything to her. None of them mean, you know, that just don't make sense, because if you fight somebody in the top 5, it's going to get you somewhere. And with Joanna's track record right now, as many title shots as she's lost and title fights as she's lost, I don't think we all feel confident that she'll beat Rose in the 3rd fight when you already lost to her. So how you gonna get a 3rd fight with Rose and you already lost to her twice? You know, come back and go in there and dominate Zhang Weili this time around. Don't go for fight of the year. You know, go in there and go for knockout of the year or something, or just like dominant performance of the year. You know, fight of the year don't really mean mean anything like that. Yeah, I think so too. Lemos would dominate Claudia. Claudia said recently she's recovering from an injury. Other than her, I don't know anyone else's status. Yeah, everybody else is pretty much open. Hill versus Ebos prediction, and who should the winner fight? I'm gonna go with damn. I think Angela Hill striking and her angles and her awkwardness could win her this fight. But if Ebos takes this fight to the ground, it's Ebos's fight. I'm 50-50 on this Hill Ebos fight. I really am, because I think that Angela Hill's gotten a little bit better, and I think Amanda Ebos, she's still at the same level here. So I'm gonna say it's 50-50. I'm gonna have to look closer at it. 50-50. If I had to pick right now as an early fight, I'm gonna pick Angela Hill. I'm gonna pick Angela Hill right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Angela Hill against Ebos just as of right now. KO Robot Chicken said KO of the year goes to Usman thus far. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that was a badass KO, man. Why is Claudia such a downfall? After watching Claudia fight for what, 7 years now, 7 or 8 years. I mean, it's her lack of It's her lack of growth, man. It's just her lack of growth and IQ. You know, she just doesn't have that ability to grow and want to grow. Like there was a time when I think it was said like a couple years ago, she opened her own gym and she was trying to teach herself. You know, she was trying to train herself. She hadn't really linked up with the right trainers. You know, I just kind of feel like she lacks the IQ. You know, she could have beat Joanna in both of those fights, but she just lacked the IQ. Um, Again, she lacked the IQ in the Jessica Andrade fight. She could have beat Jessica Andrade, but she just didn't have it. And since then, she just kind of lost something. That's why she's on such a downfall, man, because she just doesn't improve. Physically strong, you know, she's strong as hell, you know, has some nice, you know, her jiu-jitsu game is, you know, solid. You know, if she stuck to developing her striking and, you know, some of those little tools like that, she would be better, but it's just her lack of growth, man. That's why she's having a downfall. That's why she'll never really, you know, honestly, I don't think she'll ever touch that title. You know, she'll go on some nice win streaks here and there. You know, she'll beat fighters like Carolina. Um, who else did she beat recently? Well, that's damn, that's the only like fight I can say she looked good in, like Carolina fight where she scored a submission. But other than that, I mean, she didn't beat Carla or Angela, in my opinion. Um, could have beat Jessica Andrade, but she wound up putting on a, you know, bloody ass fight in there. And I was like, man, what do you think of 115 will be the next champ with 5+ title defenses? Um, I really don't see Rose going on a title defense run though. I'm being honest, man. Like I don't know if she can put together 5 title defenses, man. Because I think the Carla fight might be tough for Rose because you know they've been there before, and you know Carla's gotten stronger and she's gotten a little bit better. Whether you like her or not, you got to admit that Carla's gotten better. Carla's gotten better and she's got a little bit stronger, man. She's been getting jacked, man. But Rose has gotten better. Yeah, yeah, it's on the downside, man. Yeah, Derek Lewis's knockout is up there too. Derek Lewis's knockout is up there. Usman's knockout is up there. Damn. Ngannou's knockout, you gotta include that. Ngannou's knockout is up there. Yeah. Yeah, man. Lolita said she did not beat Esparza. No, she didn't. She didn't beat Angela Hill either. Claudia didn't beat either one of them. Joanna screaming Boogie Woman coming before the Rose fight was so cringy. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, Rose would win a rematch with Carla. You think so? Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible because she's gotten better. She's gotten better since that first fight. I'm gonna go back and watch that fight tonight. I'm gonna go back and watch their first fight. That was like 7 years ago with that tough finale. Yeah, I remember watching that fight, and I was like, Carla killed her back then, boy. Yeah, that was like 2014. That was probably like my favorite Tough House, the one with the straw weights, man. Because you know I always was a fan of WMMA, so I was like, man, this one here, it had all the girls from Invicta in there. You know, all the exciting fighters were in there in straw weight, and they were building the straw weight division up. Yeah, I love that. That was probably my favorite one, man. There was just a lot of crazy energy in that house at the time too, man. That was a good one, man. That Tough House. Yeah, that was probably my favorite one. Yeah, Rose definitely gotten better. Yeah, I think Carla's gotten better too, though. Nobody thought Usman would KO Masvidal. That's why it's more impressive. Who is Rose most likely to lose against? Lola and Yo-Yo. Who is Rose most likely to lose against? Let me look at this. Let me look here. in the top five, in the top five, in the top five, she could lose to she could lose to Carla. She could lose to Carla in the top five. And she could lose to Joanna. You don't know. No, I think Carla might have a better chance than Joanna at this point. I'm gonna say she could lose to Carla, and if the fight went to the ground against Mackenzie Dern, that's where it would get interesting. Like Mackenzie Dern would have to be able to take Rose down to make it go her way, and I don't know if she would have that ability to take Rose down and make it go her way yet. I think Carla's the only one with, like, the real chance, and even then, that's close. So yeah, I don't know. Tommy Dawson, what's going on? Tommy said Whaley can't be. Yeah, she can be champion again. Yeah, yeah. Let me put it that way. I think Rose will. I think Rose could still lose to Carla, and she could lose to Whaley. She could still lose to Whaley. Let's just say that. Let's be honest. Like, she scored this one hit knockout. Well, hey, Joanna came back in the second fight and made it competitive, right? So it's possible. Yeah, Whaley can be champion again. I'm not gonna count that out. No. Robot Chicken said Andrade in a 5 rounder. Good. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, that's an excellent point, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If she was at 115, I would have said that. Yeah, Andrade in a 5 round fight, title defense against Andrade. Yeah, that that might be the one to still beat her. Yeah. Colton said, "Who does Whaley fight next?" I think Whaley might fight. Whaley might fight Joanna. She might fight Joanna, or they might set her up with Mackenzie Dern this summer. You know, just because I might say Mackenzie Dern needs to fight Tisha Torres or something, but they're probably gonna make her fight Whaley next. Who knows? If Whaley doesn't get the title shot, she might fight Joanna, or she might fight Mackenzie Dern next. Who knows? So that's probably next. But yeah, Whaley. That's a good point too. Rose loses to Rose. Yeah, that's how she loses her fights, man. Lolita said Dern versus Tatiana. Wait, Tommy Dawson said Claudia can be champion now. Whoa, no. I don't know about that, man. I got more faith in Wei Lee doing her thing before Claudia. I don't know about that. Claudia, I don't think she could be champion. Dern versus Tatiana, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Robert Henry, what's going on? Yeah, Andrade in a 5 round fight. That's a good point, though. That's probably the most dangerous fight for Rose if she comes back, man. If she comes back at 115 and she gets that fight, man. Yeah, that's still gonna be a tough fight to call, man. Andrade has more tight boxing than Zhang, and she reacts better to feints. Yeah, that was crazy, man. That was crazy. Here we thought Wei Lee was really, really, really technical, which she is. She has some better skills than Jessica Andrade, man, but she just waited too long, man. She stayed on the outside too long. I think Jessica used her height to her advantage much better. She stayed hunched down. She stayed hunched down. That's why she didn't really eat too many head kicks against Rose. She was able to back Rose up. She was able to go in on Rose because she had the Joe Frazier head bob, and she was coming straight in. Not coming straight in, but she was like bull rushing in. Claudia's always in good shape. I mean, physically, Claudia always looks good in shape. I mean, she always has the body. She's always got the body, but she doesn't have the IQ, and she doesn't have the skill sets to back this thing up. Nah, look at Rob trying to defend Rose. Now if Andrade come back down to 115, man, you know That's when Rose upset me when she got slammed on her head. I was like, "What are you doing, Rose?" I was like, you can't slow down in here against this girl." And then she about got knocked out in the second fight too. No, that's the big threat right there, man. I don't care. Tommy Dawson said, "Would would be nice to see many champions like Gadelia or Esparza with boxing. Would be a weird circle." Yeah, the thing is, Claudia got some hands, but she just won't use them. Like she had hands in the Jessica Andrade fight, she just don't let them go. Yeah, Marcus, you see her body, man. Physically, she's always in shape. I'm talking about physically. Look at her body. Physically, she's always in shape, but she's not in fighting shape. It's two differences. Like you can be muscular all day, but that don't mean you can be in fighting shape. You know. Oh, Claudia got skills. Claudia has skills. She just doesn't have the ability to develop an IQ. I mean, go back and watch her fights. Look, I've been watching her fight for like 8 years. I'm telling y'all, look, Claudia has skill. She just doesn't have the IQ and she doesn't have the ability to develop as a fighter. It's like she won't commit to what she has. Like she's got some striking. She has some striking. When she lets her hands go, it works. It works. But when you get drawn into a dog fight with Jessica Andrade and you fight her fight, your IQ, you don't have an IQ. Jessica can come on and get head kicks too. She didn't get them head kicks in the first or second fight because of the pressure the pressure that Jessica puts on. You can't really set your feet and get a head kick off. So nah, I don't see head kick. It's gonna have to be punches from Rose and constant angles. Yeah, Claudia's got good. She's got a good physique and she's in shape, but you know, she's always got a body. That's what I'm saying. Like physically, she's always in good shape, but fighting shape, no. In order to punch well, you need to have small breasts. If they are big and round, they interfere with throwing a punch. I mean, I don't know why these girls get implants. Then Rose is too young and barely entering her prime. Is young too and barely entering her prime. Tommy also, the problem with South American fighters is they have too simplistic viewing of fighting science, and American fighters are way too analytical to fight. That's a good point, man. A lot of South American fighters, they don't come in with very good hand game. You know what I mean? Like everybody thinks Amanda Nunes is like a top-notch striker, but that's not her thing. She had to learn that. You could look at Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo had to hook up with Robert Garcia to learn how to box. These South American fighters, yeah, like these fighters, these Brazilian fighters, there's not a lot of natural boxers there because their thing is jujitsu. If you look at their footwork and how they throw their hands, White Mackenzie Dern. I know everybody say Mackenzie Dern is Americanized, but still, like this girl doesn't have she never had the fundamentals of footwork. Jose Aldo linked up with Mikey Garcia in the boxing camps in Big Bear, not Big Bear, but out in California with Robert Garcia to learn how to box. You know, um, you look at a lot of the fighters like Floyd Mayweather and John Jones. They're very analytical with theirs. They're very analytical with their fight. Mm, 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 mm. Robot Chicken. Claudia always looks good for one round. She can never go 5 rounds now. Nah, she can never go 5 rounds or 4 or 3. Rose says she doesn't want to fight on her in her 30s. Yeah, she's almost there. She's almost there, y'all. So I don't really see her going on like a great title run though. Mm, 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 mm. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. Good conversation today, man. Just wanted to talk about Joanna, her situation. You know, like I said, we'll probably talk more about this week because there's supposed to be some more updates I heard, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what else is going on, y'all. So yeah, man, I'm about to get up out of here. Make sure y'all subscribe on your way out. Some new people in here. Tommy Dawson. Thanks for coming in. You brought up some good points. Remember they called Claudia 5. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Claudia, man, like they all thought she was gonna be this big threat. I thought she was gonna be this big thing too. Whenever she fought Joanna, like that first time, she came out the split decision loss. Second fight, I was like, okay, Claudia's figured this thing out, and boom, she lost again. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, somebody asked earlier about atom weight division in the UFC. Yeah, I think they should. We did a live stream like a few months back talking about that. I picked 15 atom weights and say this is who the UFC needs in their atom weight division. Yeah, we talked about that a while ago. We'll talk about that again though. But atom weight in 1FC is 115, right? Yeah. Yeah. I think we just need a lightweight division for women. Like we need 155 for the women in UFC. You know, 155 would be good for the UFC. I mean, you get a lot of women in there, a lot of good knockouts, too, exciting fights. But yeah, let me go, y'all. Y'all hold me up here. We over here talking too much, but I gotta go. I'll be back on like tomorrow or something. And yeah, like I said, if y'all new here, make sure y'all subscribe. And yeah, I'll probably be back on about the same time tomorrow. Thanks for everybody coming through in the chat. Combo Breaker 99. I am out. Subscribe. Peace.